Hi guys, today I'm gonna be making a really yummy blueberry scones. It's a family favorite, so it's a little bit different from your usual scones, but it's quite easy to make. So I've got all the ingredients prepared here. The most important thing is the butter. So I put this in the freezer because we want to make sure that the butter is really like rock hard cold, because we're gonna grate it later. And I've got flour, which is 2 cups of flour, and a little bit extra for dusting, half a cup of blueberry. We'll use about a teaspoon of vanilla essence. This is 1/4 cup of sugar, or you can add a little bit more if you want something sweeter. 1/4 cup of lemon juice, half a teaspoon of salt, half cup of milk. You can also opt to use skim milk or almond milk or any other milk that you like, but I'm using full fat milk, and this is 2 teaspoons of lemon zest. All right, so shall we start? All right, we're gonna start with the 2 cups of flour. This is just plain flour, or you can use any flour that you like. Mine is just all-purpose plain flour. And we need about, I would say, this is unsalted butter, which is bacon butter. This is 200 grams, but I'm gonna be using about 60 grams first. So we're gonna grate this. I mean, grating it just makes it easier on your hands to mix it, because we don't need a mixer for this. I'm just gonna be using my hands. You can cut them up small and use it if you want to, but this is just easier for me. So we're just gonna do it gently. We don't want to over mix the dough. Just wanna make sure it's evenly spread. Okay, so you want it to be more like, you know, when you're making a crumble, it's just like that. You don't want it, you want it just like this consistency. And we're gonna add sugar, salt. I'm just using Himalayan pink salt, but you can use sea salt or any salt that you like, depending on whatever you have in the kitchen. And I'm gonna add the lemon juice. This is gonna be quite a wet dough, so you wanna make sure that you flour the surface before you put them into shapes. So this is half a cup of milk. I'm adding the blueberries, it's just about half cup. You could also use bigger ones or smaller one, or I try not to use too much, because then when you cut it into shapes, you're just gonna cut through the blueberries and it might bleed out before you start baking your scones. So you don't want to really mix anymore, so I'm just folding them in, and just be gentle. You don't want to squish the blueberries. So I'll just put the lemon zest now. You don't have to put the lemon zest, because some people don't like the bitter taste, but I don't mind it, so I do add just about a tablespoon, but you could add more or less or none, if it's up to you. And use a scraper. It's just easier, and you don't waste any dough. Today I was thinking of making, just use your hands. I was thinking of making squarish scones. I mean, you can make any shapes you like, depending on how big or small you want your scones to be. So I'm just gonna start with here, and I'll use my spatula and put one here. It doesn't have to be perfect, because I think if it's not perfect, it gives it more unique character for your scones. And it looks more authentic. So here we go. I mean, I'm just eyeballing it, so I've got a tiny one here. It doesn't matter. Okay, and then you just sort of just tidy the sides. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that the oven has been preheated at 200 degrees Celsius, and this is gonna go in for about 15 to 17 minutes, and you just have to keep an eye on it after 10 minutes. Have it. Blueberry scones. And you see the blueberry starts to burst out when it's baking, but that's just the nicest part about this scone, and it smells amazing.